Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, please welcome back your belligerent Bible worker. Hey everybody, it's Amy Register. I am a Bible worker engaged in evangelism here in the Arroyo Grande Seventh-day Adventist Church. And if you missed my last introductory video, I was just explaining that I am really passionate about making a case for digital evangelism. So in this short section, I want to give you a few reasons why I think we have got to be considering digital evangelism. Here are some of the bullet points that are going to lead into building this case. Number one, people are leaving the faith. People are leaving Christianity because many of them have huge unanswered questions. Statistically speaking, 70% of mainline evangelical Protestants leave the faith in college. Only 35% of those eventually return. And when they were asked in an open-ended survey why they fell away from the faith in which they were raised, 32% of them cited intellectual skepticism or doubt. In a study titled Exodus, Why Americans Are Leaving Religion and Why They're Unlikely to Come Back, research pointed out that nearly 40% of young adults are religiously unaffiliated. Point number two, many others are leaving the faith not so much because of intellectual skepticism, but because of just general distrust in the church or general uncertainty about Christianity being the exclusive way to heaven. In a 2015 study done on religious nuns, or those who don't claim any religious affiliation, some of the findings were fascinating. About 20% said they were just uninterested or distrusting of organized religion in general. This group includes people who are uninterested in religious hierarchy, those who think that churches run too much like a business, and particularly those who are terrified of the sexual scandals that have racked certain denominations in the past years. About 18% of these religiously unaffiliated say that they are just unsure about Christianity being the only way to God. They describe themselves as open-minded or seeking or spiritual, but not necessarily religious. About 10% surveyed said that they may hold certain religious beliefs, but they were uninterested in attending church or simply too busy to take part in the ritual of religion. Point number three is that there are people who are not leaving Christianity necessarily, they are just leaving the physical church. According to Pew Research's 2014 Religious Landscape Survey, the number of Americans reporting attending church on a weekly basis fell from 39% in 2007 to 35% in 2014. However, these are self-reported statistics, and another worthy source cites that it's probably closer to only 17.7% of Americans who say they're practicing Christians are actually in church on any given week. Going along with that, here's one statistic that has blown my mind and made me personally a little bit sad, sadder than all of these others combined. Christians in their 20s are significantly less likely to report that any kind of spiritual growth or development is directly correlated to going to church. That means that even religious believing 20-somethings don't find any spiritual growth or benefit, or don't find any spiritual relevance from going to church. They believe that they can grow and develop on their own outside of the community. In summary, these are some worrying stats to me. There are people leaving the faith because they have big questions that aren't answered in their Sabbath school or Sunday school classes, or they don't feel like they can talk to anybody. We have people who are leaving the faith because they don't trust the people in church, they don't trust the ministers, they don't trust the organization. And we have people not leaving the faith per se, but getting so far away from it that we cannot interact with them on a weekly basis. Guys, this spells trouble for the church. Now, let me be clear. I personally am not invested in a building. I would be sad, but I personally don't care if every church closed its doors and we started meeting again New Testament style in people's homes. I think that's the way that church should be, frankly. But this spells disaster for our faith and the strength of our people. We are losing people left and right. And while we may be going after them on an individual basis, I don't know, we need something that can get to where they are. As you can guess, I think that the internet and digital media is the way to do that. After all, Satan's not fooling around. He's not playing games. In fact, I 100% believe that people with any kind of propaganda, good or bad, are going to have their stuff online. In a 2013 study done by Larry Taunton, it was cited that the internet factored heavily into many young atheists' decision to convert to atheism. Guys, these are just a few statistics that I found trolling about the internet one Sabbath afternoon, but they've hit me hard. I know that as a church, we can start a movement to counteract some of these things. All right, it's been real, it's been intense, it's been fun. Join me for the next segment where I will continue to build the case for digital evangelism, bringing in some of the solutions that I think will help us to counteract what's been going on statistically in churches for years.